Welcome to this tutorial. So we're going to continue with our series of tutorials on Excel Power Pivot. In this tutorial, we're going to be looking at how we can add some simple calculations into our tables. So currently we've got a table of data, and what we're going to be doing is we're going to be creating some new columns. And you're going to see that those new columns are going to create new fields within those tables. As we said previously, it's just like working with the database. We're going to be adding new fields into the actual table of the database that we're going to be working with. So as I said, we're going to be covering some simple calculations here. Please, as always, remember to subscribe and like the channel. But we're going to jump into the tutorial, and I will see you there. Welcome to this tutorial. In this tutorial, we're going to continue from where we got to in the previous tutorial. So in the previous tutorial, we had loaded some data into our Power Pivot, and now we're at the stage where we want to do something with this data. So how do we work with this data? What can we do with it? So first off, what we're going to look at is that within this data, we actually have some calculations that we can do. So if we look at this, we've got our different countries called sub-regions here, but different countries. And basically they make a sale. And you can see that you've got a sales date, and then you've got a list price and an order quantity. So if we took our list price and we got our order quantity, if we multiplied the two, then we would actually get our sales value. So what we can do is we can actually add new columns into our Power Pivot data source. So when I click on Add Column here, I can double click on the heading and I can actually give it a new name. So we're going to give it a field name and we're going to call it our sales. Now what you'll notice is that over here we now get an equal sign. So because this has now got the field name sales, we're now going to be able to do a formula for what the sales field means. So if we took sales and then we say equals and you use your left square bracket and press your left square bracket, you'll see that it will give you a list of all the fields that are in this table. So let's say we want our list price. I just select that, double click on it. So now you can say got equals list price, and I'm going to say multiply. Now it really doesn't matter. You can have no spaces or you can have a space. Doesn't really matter. You can use spaces as you would like to. Now let's say we want to take the list price, we want to multiply it, and we want to multiply it by the order quantity. So with the order quantity now, we can go back, we can press the left square bracket again, and you'll see again now, we get all our field names that are in this table. Can I double click on this? So we got list price multiplied by our order quantity. When I press enter on this, we'll see that we will then get the result of the calculation. So we've now added a new field called sales into this table. And we've now got a result for each row, each one of these nearly 61,000 rows. That's basically been calculated for this. So let's continue. Let's say we wanted to create some other calculations. So let's say we got our unit price and we got our order quantity. We now wanted to create what our cost price was. So again, just remember add column. I'm going to double click on that. I'm going to type in there cost. Press enter on that. Remember, come across to my formula. I'm going to use my left square bracket. I'm going to now take though my unit price, and we're going to multiply that, and also again use our left square bracket to get our order quantity. And also what you'll see is that if you press the first letter of the field name, in this case O, it will then go straight to everything that begins with the O. So I'm going to double click on order quantity. So once I've got my formula, I can press enter on that. And just like we saw with sales, our cost is now being calculated. What we can also do is we can actually do calculations with the fields that have been created. So I could actually take my sales value and I could deduct my cost value. This would actually give me my profit. So let's do another one. Let's add a new column here. I'm going to call this our profit. Press enter, accept it. Go back to our formula bar. In this case now, press my left square bracket. You'll see now that my sales field is actually available and I can use it in other calculations. I'm going to double click on that. I'm going to say we're going to minus, again, our left square bracket. This time we're going to use our cost. So now we've got our sales minus our cost. Press enter, which would give us our profit. So as you can see in this tutorial, really easy to be able to create some simple calculations and basically bring some new values into our Power Pivot. In the next lesson, we're going to be looking at how we can actually start to work with those values using our pivot tables. So I will see you in the next tutorial.